Yeah, I'll call the meeting to order. The first item is approval of the agenda.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Minutes of the December 20th, 2022 board meeting.
Move to approve.
Got a motion and a second. Is there any questions or comments? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Consider contribution to First Presbyterian Food Pantry. As you're aware, we've done, for 20 years, we've been involved in a food distribution to elderly or low-income people. And we've done that through a variety of places, Salvation Army, Senior Citizen Center, and now it's with the food bank. And just recently, back I think in June, there's been a food delivery for veterans. Well, at the same time, and I think we all recognize there is a shortage of food going to needy, elderly, low-income people. And at the First Presbyterian Church, they have a food distribution once a month. I had a conversation with them and it costs them about $4,500 a year for the boxes they use. And if they could just get a contribution to pay for the boxes for the first year, that's going to give them a leg up on it from then on. So someone was here, was going to speak to that. He had asked that I bring this to the board.
You read the letter that Lizzie wrote you. That's based on last year's figures. So she's not asking for a lot. I have the new figures and it'll take $5,000 this year just to export the boxes. The reason they're asking for boxes money is because that's a fixed figure. But anytime they don't have to buy a box, they can put more food in the box. We can't take the boxes back because you don't know where they've been. So we can't use old boxes. That's not going to work. So it actually equates, the money will be used for boxes, but it equates to more money in a box. And the reason you can't just get boxes because we can't stack them. The boxes they get come in a flat and they have to be folded up and put together. So the boxes are really a bigger deal than it sounds like. Thank you.
Anyone have any questions about the food distribution? If not, I'd entertain some motion.
List a motion for $5,000 and $4,461.96.
Hey, we have a motion. Well, he says the new figure is 5,000, so we're just with $200. So
Move to approve 5,000.
you have a motion and a second to approve a $5,000 contribution. Is there any questions or comments? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Consider approving bid for Iowa Bridge and Culvert for pedestrian bridge. When we took bids in the beginning, we had asked the engineer, the consulting engineer, to adjust the estimate downward because we anticipated the county was going to do some of the things which we could do. Since then, I guess we're not going to do it that way, and we've asked that the consulting engineer notify potential contractors that they would be responsible for that. So the price is a little higher than what we thought. I had talked to the engineer, and so is Wayne, about, since it's a little higher than we thought, what do you think about rebidding it? He suggested we not do that because the volatility of prices right now, we could find out that the next bids would be much higher. Also, contractors are setting their schedule for next summer right now. And if we go through another bid letting, which may not save any money, but if it did, we may get higher prices because the contractors are not available. And if they're going to do it and put you ahead of someone else, when we first asked about the bridge, trying to do it earlier this last summer, they said you'd pay a premium of probably 30% if you had to ask someone to change their schedule. So we have a proposal here to approve the contract price. And I had talked to Jeff when he said he wanted to know what the price was, and he mentioned then that he thought maybe it'd be in the $800,000 range. But it's not, it's in the 400,000 range. This would let us get it done next summer. And you had talked about the ARPA money. I never thought all along we'd take it from there. We may have shortfalls on whether it's the complex or the windows or those things. We would take it from the sales tax, which the sales tax we get about $340,000 a year. And on the ballot, it was for capital projects. So we have the money for it. I'm fearful that if we take bids again, it's going to cost us more. But
Well, as I just talked to Kim, we talked to a couple other members of the Trails Council, and as Steve had said, you know, fundraising efforts by them and maybe some other partners coming in. Anything we can do to help lighten it on our end, we definitely appreciate. I agree, not accepting the bid today could put us behind the 8 ball, and you're looking maybe 2 or 3 years out. So I'd move to approve the bid, and we'll continue to look at other funding options and have funding streams as well. But this will enable us to get the bridge done in the next year.
Second.
we have a motion and a second, and I thank you both for that. I think this is more than just a walk bridge. This is part of the community, part of the county, and it's part of history. And I thank you for the motion and the second. Is there any questions or comments? If not, I would entertain a motion, or all in favor, say aye.
You'll get the hang of this someday.
Someday. Those opposed say no. Thank you. I'm sure the Trails Council thanks. Wapello County Conservation Board appointment of Jeff Layton. He's an existing member of the board, and his term is up.
Move to approve.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Review and approve resolution number 63, 2022 farm to market review board application.
Move the resolution. Nothing special.
Uh,
Normal.
So a few months ago, you guys did the same thing to add 14 miles. I went to the meeting. They made a motion to approve it. However, they did find this 1/10 of a mile in our county that they wanted added. And then we also found another 2/100 of a mile that they wanted added. So they're holding off on that until we get this approved. And this will increase our overall farm to market budget, and we will be basically taking dollars away from every other county. For our own
Got a
benefit.
motion?
I did.
They've got a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say no. Disposition of CARES funds. Now, you remember we got,
Number 7.
oh, question. Okay, resolution 64, 2022, approval, an award bridge replacement project, on Whiskey Ridge.
We solicited bids through the DOT for the replacement of Bridge 51. It is over there on the county line, right off of T61 on Whiskey Ridge. And we had 3 bidders, I believe. And Herberger was the lowest.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Now, disposition of CARES funds. Remember several months ago when we were having the COVID situation, different entities, cities, counties got CARES dollars, and we got close to 500,000. And so did the city of Ottumwa, got about the same amount. You really didn't have to spend it on COVID related things, but that was their strong recommendation from the state. We followed that recommendation, and Tim got us a clinic to where people in the county and other counties came here to get tested also. They got tested so we could find out if they had COVID. It was expensive, it was difficult finding nurses, and it was very costly. But that's how we spent the bulk of the money to start with. Now we have a situation where we have some left, and the suggestion here is that the 1015 Transit Building is owned by the city of Ottumwa. But it's a kind of a complicated situation in that there were a couple years left to pay on it. So if they're going to use it for something other than transit, those 2 years have to be paid off. And there's been a proposal that the city and the county go together and pay the 2 years off. We've already got our emergency management people there, and if you haven't been there, it's a nice facility taking care of our needs. So what this is the amount that's left we would like to allocate toward the purchase and remodeling of the building. Kim, did you have anything you'd like to say to the board?
Yeah, you described it pretty well. I'll thank the board again for using the CARES money as it was intended to do that COVID clinic. And we received some reimbursement from FEMA for some of those expenses and put it back in that fund. We've done some fun projects that have been ongoing, that are ongoing beneficial to a lot of different entities. Like if you remember, we purchased the signboards for the clinic, and we've used it for all sorts of different events and emergency responses since. Purchased a skid loader that helps with various different needs throughout the county and all of our communities. Use some of the money to expand the Key Card project, cover the Waffalo building. We did some video conferencing equipment for the sheriff and for the public health. And, I think we've utilized the fund quite well. And as Jerry said, this is just a unique opportunity with partnering with the city to purchase the old transit building for my program. And we've been down there for a year and a half actually. So this is finally just getting the paperwork finalized because the federal highway has been a bit slow on getting the sale agreement done.
And one thing on the Emergency Management Commission, it's made up of a supervisor, the sheriff, and the mayors of each of the towns in the county. But we've only discussed the city of Ottumwa and Waffalo County as being able to pay for the building, even though the other towns are part of it, but they couldn't afford to pay even what would be considered their share. Some of them, their whole budget is not what their share might be of this project. So it's turning out that we're able to help the small towns by doing this, and they'll continue to be part of emergency management. So I'd certainly recommend that we approve this for the purchase and renovation of the building.
I'll move to approve.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Is there any questions or comments?
I echo what you said, Tim said. It's one of the things that I'm proud of we done as a county was use this money for what it was supposed to be used for. There's a lot of communities that didn't, and to have a little bit of this left over to help Tim's department and help grow that sector and help the Wapello County as a whole is a good deal.
I'd echo. Well, we do. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. It's approved. We spent the whole, almost, half a day last week making sure the amount that we thought was available to complete our obligation on the building. So we're satisfied the figure is correct. Reappoint Deborah Fenton Rowe and Stephen Croft to Veterans Affairs Board. They're both currently on the board and their time has expired and they have requested reappointment.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Consider contribution to Eldon Campground Development. I'm sure you're aware, we've had our secondary roads people at times down there helping. This campground, once developed, is to be along the highway. It's to really be an asset to the Gothic House because, well, she put in her letter that they get people on a regular basis daily that come up there in campers. I want to know where the closest they can camp. They would like to have camped there, visit the Gothic House. So people through the Fair Board, they have a 501c3 and they're developing a campground along the highway there. And they're asking for a contribution because like some of the others, like county conservation and that, the grants that they're asking for are going to require a commitment from the county, the city. And here's an opportunity for us to help the Gothic House. We, years ago, when the Gothic House Visitor Center was built, we knew that the city of Eldon couldn't afford to pay for the operation. So the county accepted that with some limits on what we would be able to pay. We're exceeding those limits, but you're looking at an attraction that may be known worldwide, not just in Wapello County or state of Iowa. I'm fortunate to have it here in Wapello County. So I think anything we can do to help the development and the expansion, but you just remember we signed a letter supporting the expansion of the visitor center because they will have a bus come in with maybe 50 people on it. They can let like 15 people inside to view it. That's not a good system. One time they wanted to have their sack lunch. We had to go down and rent the building downtown so they could do it. Now she has applied for a grant to expand the facility for a meeting room and educational opportunities. So if you have a class, you don't just take 15 kids in, you take them all in. This campground will help. And those that are pushing for it have asked that we make a commitment. We have tried in the past when we made a commitment to the 4-H Expo, we did something similar to the fair. Fred, did you have anything to say about where you're at on any of this? I don't know if I covered it all or not. So
I think we covered it well. We are working on state grants. That's why we've asked for the contribution so we can leverage to get momentum to get this project accomplished.
did any other people associated with it have any comments to make? Any questions from the board? We need to help the Gothic house all we can, and we have been pushing the limit on what our contribution is to them. But costs are going up, and you can't just say we're going to entertain every other bus that comes, so. I'd entertain a motion from the board.
Make the motion, we send a contribution to the public campground at all. Second. Put an amount on there.
Well, what we gave to the expo was 44,000. And again, this is not, we're not taking any property tax dollars to be used for this. It's going to be coming out of sales tax, which is supposed to be used for this. 25% is for capital projects, 50% is for bridges and culverts, and the other 25% goes for rural property tax relief. We figure out what the rural tax bill is, and then we subtract 25% of the sales tax from that. So the rural area pays less in property taxes. I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments? Questions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Thank you. Joint application with Iowa Department of Natural Resources for pedestrian bridge.
This is for the permits and everything. Go ahead and get it done. So. That's all it amounts to.
Move to approve.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Personnel, request for payroll approval, change of employment, supervisor for South Central Behavioral Health. You know that Jennifer, our CEO for the 4 counties, is is leaving. She's resigned. We are working with the SEALS region, which is the region east of us. I think it's got 9 or 10 counties. Our region only has 4 counties. So we're going to have an interim director from the SEALS region, but they will only be spending about 1 day a week here in our region. So what this is someone needs to make the decisions during this interim period on the day-to-day operations. So Jennifer, in reviewing the duties that they have, has made the recommendation that this individual be promoted to a supervisor, and she would make the decision with the approval, and she would be in constant contact with the temporary CEO. The reason, and I explained it before, but some of it may not have been here, the reason we can't just advertise for a new CEO for our region of 4 counties is there's the legislature has a proposal. They think we have too many regions, so they want to combine the regions. We're the smallest. If they combine us with some other region and add 9 or 10 or 20, our CEO probably would not continue to have a job, because the vote of the counties will be hiring the new CEO. So it's not likely that if we advertise for a new chief executive officer for our region, that we're going to get someone that quits their job in another region and takes this one, knowing that in 3 months, the legislature is likely to make a change and they could be out of a job. So by having this person here, they would be a day-to-day supervisor for the region. I don't know that I can explain any better than that. Someone's got to be in charge, and our agreement with the SEAL region She said the other day they can be here maybe one day a week. They'll still be available for questions, but to be here for the day-to-day operations, they'll only be here one day a week at the most.
Approve the personnel request.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Request for payroll approval, change of employment, Director of General Assistance. You remember, we used to have a Director of General Assistance, and she retired a few years ago. When she retired, the state had changed the way they handle what's called state papers for general assistance. So we determined at that time that we would try and have our clerk was given a small promotion, and she would handle general assistance. The difficulty in handling general assistance is there's two kinds. One is for people who have mental disabilities, and they were doing that down at the Wapello building. We were handling regular general assistance at our office. People would come, and during our interview here, we'd find out they really should be down there. So we had people coming here that should be down there and people going down there that should be here. So we talked to Jennifer and we said, how about if we just give you the title? No money increase or anything. We'll give you the title. Add to your CEO part, you're going to be the Director of General Assistance. That way we can have one of your employees handle the general assistance, making it easier for the public in that both kinds of general assistance will be handled in the same building, in the same office. So that's worked, and about 20% of the clerk's time was spent on general assistance, according to Jennifer. What we've asked here is that this person here that's been doing the work would now be named the Director of General Assistance and would increase the salary by just $2,500 a year. This is a really good deal for the county. Remember, we used to have a $40,000 a year director, and then we paid our office manager much more than that. Some of the counties that are in our region at the last regional meeting said that they pay as much as $20,000. Now remember, the salary of this individual is paid by the state. It's paid out of mental health funds. So we're very fortunate in Wapello County to get our general assistance totally handled by another $2,500 is all it's going to take to do that. Karen, did you have anything to say about it? Did I miss something?
No, I think you covered it well. Thank you.
Karen will be is the person that we're talking about. She does the work, and now we're going to add a title. But the county's getting a really good deal.
Move to approve.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Request for payroll approval, change of employment, administrative assistant position for South Central Behavioral Health. That's another part of the puzzle for all of these that I've been explaining to get to this point until we can get a permanent CEO.
Move to approve.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Any other business to come before the board?
I'd like to take a minute here. Over the last 4 years, I've had the privilege to get to know and work with Wayne. And I think the biggest thing I've learned about Wayne is I wish I was one of his kids or grandkids. You're not going to find a better guy and father and grandfather. And it's been a privilege the last 4 years being able to work side by side with Wayne. So look forward to maybe occasionally seeing you at Chalmers or wherever we may be, but appreciate you and been a pleasure to get to know you. And Jerry, there's a saying that says, if you want to make people happy, sell ice cream. Jerry's never sold ice cream. In a position that we're in, you don't get to sell ice cream a lot, but to have the convictions and the ability to stand by them in the face of a lot of opposition sometimes is a character of someone that I feel Wapello County, been a privilege for Wapello County to have, the city of Ottumwa. I got Jerry a thing one time that says all tyranny needs to gain a foothold is people of good conscience to remain silent. And I think now more than ever, it's pretty easy for people to remain silent. Again, Jerry never sold ice cream, so he's going to stand by what he did. And we can hate him, you can not like him for whatever reason, but there's got to be a respect that comes with what he's done for the last 50 years. You've always knew where he stood. Has he ever stabbed you in the back? Probably not, because he'd tell you to your face. And that's something else we're missing a lot of nowadays. So I think there's things that, as I said at the veterans ceremony, one of the times I seen Jerry actually kind of halfway cry was when the VFW presented him with an award, because as they said, when they look up, there was Jerry. Didn't matter what it was. Soup suppers, fundraisers, he's there. Oh, that's political. Okay. The stuff that I've seen the man do just in my last 6 years, loading a mower up in the back of his truck and going mowing a ditch for an old lady because the county couldn't get to it. Mowing the veteran grave out by Chillicothe. Wasn't on campaign posters or anything else. He wasn't up here bragging about it. Whether Wapello County wants to believe it or not, we're gonna miss you, Jerry. And this ain't a knock on the new guys, hopefully not on myself, but the knowledge and ability, Wapello County is gonna be missing out on a lot of time spent. So Jerry, Wapello County, city of Ottumwa, everything you've done the last 50 years, thank you. Been a privilege for me to know you most of my life, and I'm proud to call you my friend.
Thank you.
I'll move to adjourn.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. We are adjourned. Thank you for your presence today. What's that?
Didn't tell you guys, I should have. That food bank is holy. That's what the prerequisites is.
Right down what you can. So administering of. You said it's right here, correct? Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Bonnie and Miguel. Yeah. Bonnie and Miguel. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm gonna repeat after me. Raise your right hand. I say your name. Swear that I will support the Constitution
Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
that I will faithfully and impartially,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge all duties of the office
discharge all duties of the office
of Deputy Sheriff of Wapello County
of Deputy Sheriff of Wapello County,
as now or hereafter required by law.
as now or hereafter required by law.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
Congratulations.
Which name do you want me to say?
Find whatever however you want to. I'll give you my email address. I get my phone away, so maybe our friends in there.
Oh, man, well. Like that. I'm good.
Or.
Yeah.
Actually, what else? I need a copy of them, and then we'll put them in your mailbox.
And then I'll put them on your guys' desk.
Yeah.
About time. About time.
It's an autumn.
Not sworn in.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I, what I'm wondering, where did I report? Where did I report of the United States? State of Iowa, and the Constitution of Iowa, and that I will faithfully and impartially, to the best of my ability, discharge all duties of the office of Wapello County, as now or hereafter required by law. Congratulations. Date it and then you can sign it.
Thanks, Doug. Nice to meet you. Yeah.
It doesn't work. Oh, that's right. I'll put it in your mailbox, but you need a copy on file in our office.
Take care of my son.
I didn't get anything now. Yeah, I'll give it to you once. All right.
He is getting a lot smaller.
Yeah.
He's doing good.
I need your down there. Lori Fountain, Valerie McElroy, and Melody John. And Sandy Billy. Please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I swear that I will support the Constitution.
And give the original or?
I don't need the original on that one, but I do need to get the there should be
And that I will
copies of that,
faithfully and
2080.
impartially.
Yeah, but
I think I-
one sign.
To the best of my
One
ability.
fully signed, and that's our copy, but the other two that are not fully signed. I just got it back.
Of the office of. The office.
Because one of them stays with us, one of them goes to the house, and the original goes to. Okay. So do we need an original?
No, because I just put it in.
So can I have the original? Then I'll-
Yeah. I'll put it in my box.
Oops.
Well, I wondered why there was three that.
There's one partially signed.
So I was like, oh, I just need all the signatures, so that's why I just left that.
It worked.
So bad. You want me to sign over here? No, I'm just.
Anderson and Brian Ziegler. I swear that I will support the Constitution
Further, I support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa.
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
I will faithfully and impartially,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge all duties of the office
discharge all duties of the office
of County Supervisor of Wapello County,
of County Supervisor of Wapello County.
as now or hereafter required by law.
As now or hereafter required by law.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Let's give it
Sometimes it's. Yeah. There's no.
Be nice. We want some change.
Don't forget. Everybody is. But I see. Teamwork.